Meet Mystic Mike. He prides himself on knowing everything about everything before anything has even happened.
You'll never reach level 34.
His main talents include reading tea leaves, guessing football results with the help of a psychic badger, and predicting the Metacritic scores of video games based purely on announcement trailers.
Peggy 16.
87.
Sometimes a game comes along, however, that confounds Mystic Mike's near-infallible powers of prediction. Games whose brilliance he never saw coming. Games that were shockingly excellent and surpassed all the hype. How many are there, Mystic Mike?
7.
See, how would he know that? First up this week is Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, which I was unfathomably excited about when it was announced because A, I love Tolkien's work, and B, I love the Lord of the Rings movies, and also incredibly anxious for because A, I love Tolkien's work, and B, I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I was torn, my opinion cut right down the middle like a split personality.
Shadow of Mordor is going to be terrible. No, it's going to be really good, Precious.
Turned out both of my opinions were wrong, and Shadow of Mordor shot past really good and into the godly realms of, oh my god, look what you can do to orcs when you get a good combo. It was the Middle-earth action game we never knew we wanted. Huge, violent and gorgeous, with a thumping combat system that borrowed all the brilliant bits from Batman and sprinkled in swords, decapitation and magic.
I always knew Shadow of Mordor would be proper bull.
How am I feeling right now, Mystic Mike?
You're feeling annoyed, and you want me to get off the sofa, or else, Oh, that's dark.
But not as dark as our next game, Bioshock, which even director Ken Levine didn't know was going to be a success. A fact he readily admitted when we spoke to him a couple of years ago.
We thought that it was a weird game. It's about underwater objectivist utopia,
Well, Ken, Nathan had underwater objectivist utopia on his 2008 Christmas list, so it turns out your weird game can be a raging success as long as it's also a bloody good game, which Bioshock absolutely was. We had no idea how good though. We'd all seen the E3 trailer and thought, yes, that looks amazing, but there's no way the game's actually going to live up to that, is there? Then Bioshock was released and we all soaked ourselves in the amazing murky atmosphere of Rapture, to this day one of the most iconic video game creations ever, while murdering hulking men in diving suits and squeezing magic XP worms from the spines of young children. Despite, or perhaps because of all this, Bioshock goes down as one of the most unexpectedly amazing games ever made. A rare diamond of originality that easily vaulted the hype wall built by all the pre-release excitement. Like everyone who's not a complete numpty, I'm a massive fan of the good half of the Alien movie franchise, and again, like everyone, was growing increasingly frustrated at the lack of good Alien video games. So when Alien Isolation was announced, I naturally filed it under please, oh please for the love of Ripley, let it be good this time. It wasn't good though. Good is finding a forgotten 50p in your jeans pocket, or Dave deciding we can stop work early and play Pez. Alien Isolation, on the other hand, was like a volcano of creative dormancy erupting for the first time since 1986. The sights, the sounds, the fear, everything transported you back to the terrifying brilliance of the original movies. Finally, an Alien game done right. Also, I've heard, being the colossal coward that I am, my version of Amanda Ripley is still gawping at all the lovely corridors half an hour into the game. I'll just have to console myself with these, won't I? What? Alien 3 is your favourite. Well, you are of course entitled to your opinion, even though your opinion is wrong. Who remembers the year 2012? For me, it was all a murky haze, a time I can only describe as still not long enough after Skyrim came out that I've even contemplated playing anything else. The days, weeks and months all seeped into a sort of gloopy time singularity, the only constant the PS3 whirring away, hot and tired. And then, out of the one game gloom, came another open world RPG, this one called Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma? What does that even mean? Said my Skyrim-addled brain. Turns out if you double translate Dragon's Dogma into Japanese and then back into English, it reads, uncommonly excellent role-playing game you weren't expecting to be anything special, but is actually brilliant and lets you hold a giant snake's mouth open while you stick a sword in it. Yeah, alright, give it here then, I said, and Skyrim was nudged aside so I could play one of the most fascinating RPGs in years, a game that let you summon and battle alongside other people's custom characters, or pawns, and that featured some of the most exciting boss fights this side of God of War. A timely reminder that you should never judge a game by its slightly strange sounding name, and instead judge it on whether or not it lets you kill multi-headed serpents in the face. I then heard about a game called Spec Ops The Line where, no, you couldn't kill multi-headed serpents in the face. Well, Spec Ops The Line, you're already in my bad books. How do you plan on rectifying that? Beg pardon? By being a brilliantly original third-person shooter that confronts the player with the grisly consequences of their flippant virtual murderizing, wrapped in a chilling narrative and set in a hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic Dubai. Shut up, Spec Ops The Line. Bloody Jaeger with their sneakily excellent game punching me right in the prejudices and making me think about things. It was the shocking self-awareness of Spec Ops that thrust it over the hype shelf and made us all stand up and take notice. Here was a game about shooting people that told you off for shooting people. Look what you've done, said Spec Ops moments after telling you to do it.
If Spec Ops told you to jump off a cliff, would you do that? Saw that a mile off, lad.
Did you see Castlevania Lords of Shadow coming though? Bet you didn't. Do you remember what your reaction was when you first heard it was being made? Bet you can't. What about how you felt when you first fired up the disc and shoved half a tree down the throat of a massive wolf? Yes, I remember that bit. I also remember a series of increasingly incredible boss battles and a combat system so intelligent and refined you felt your IQ surge just by bashing lumps out of goblins. Castlevania Lords of Shadow being this brilliant was a wonderful surprise. The subtle, understated performance from Robert Carlyle, the searing musical score, and the visuals that were right up there with the best PS3 had to offer. Good going, Belmont. And finally, let me take you back to a mystical land called August 2008. In this land, there's no such thing as a good Batman game, but one has just been announced that might, just might, change all that.
And then he poked me on Facebook. Oh, what's this? E65 on Metacritic. At most.
Oh dear, Mystic Mike, did we make a bit of a boo-boo there? Because I think you'll find Batman Arkham Asylum was one of the most critically acclaimed games of last generation, out of the blue, and from relatively little-known British studio Rocksteady. Here was the Batman game we'd been waiting years for. The action was fast and brutal, the atmosphere dark and heavy, the characters brought to life by wonderful animation and voice performances. Playing it was like downing a pint of liquid comic book joy. It was the game we needed and deserved, a AAA love letter to everyone who'd ever dressed up in a Batman costume and run around beating up imaginary thugs. Even more unusually, the sequel, Batman Arkham City, was even better. Anyway, thanks for watching this week's video. Give us a like if you liked us, and subscribe for more Friday features every Friday.